Okay, let's talk a little bit about communication and timesheets. Two of the most important things probably to you after you forget about worrying about that first day of stepping into the classroom and what you're going to say. I'm going to start with communication. It is your responsibility to communicate all the time to the teacher you are assigned to and to me so that we know what's going on. If you're going to be absent, try ahead of time to let your teacher know, because they're going to start doing lesson plans with you involved, and then if you suddenly don't show up, they can't run their activities or their stations, or suddenly something's not going to be working. And I expect that teacher's probably going to be letting you know ahead of time when they're going to be out, because they're going to be counting on you so much to know that classroom routine and to assist the substitute. So pay attention to what's going on. There are always those extenuating circumstances where you can't let them know because you're throwing up, and that, you let them know a little bit after the fact. That's fine. But remember, it's really important they know when you will be there, and that you're going to be there every day if you can, and when you're going to be out. If they communicate to me or ask me where you are and they don't know, you're going to have points deducted from your total points, and then that takes us to the timesheets. So now let's talk a little bit about these timesheets. This is a piece from your syllabus, so you can certainly look at the syllabus and read it over and over to make sure you understand. Basically, every 10 school days, not counting weekends or holidays, you will be turning in what we call a timesheet, where you have documented and logged the tutoring activities that you have done. You're not writing a 10-page paper, but you are documenting what you have done, where you've done it, with whom you have done that, and over a 10-week period, you are expected to have earned 16 tutoring points. Now listen, that's more than 1 point a day. Think about that. 16 points over a 10-day period, but also the teacher you are assigned to will be filling out evaluations on you, and you can score anything from 0 to a 4. 4 is the best you can get paid from that teacher, and with the 16 points you have hopefully earned, plus the 4, that's 20. So over a 10-day school period, you are expected to earn 20 points if you want an A in this class. Points less than 20, of course you'll get the grade, the percentage that goes with that. Now I'm sure your brain went, oh, what? How do I get 20 points in 10 days? Because those numbers don't match up. But think about it. We have ROAR that will kick in after the first 10 days of school, or 12. Hopefully they'll bring it in sooner, but I doubt it. So you're going to probably be reporting to ROAR for your assigned teacher, or reporting here with me to pick up a few extra tutoring points, things like that. We can talk about that, especially if you're crazy stressed about those numbers not matching up. Talk to me. I can help you out with this, because it's not hard to get those 20 points. But it'll be impossible if you don't log and list what you've done each day. That's that organization thing. Let me speak for a moment about not turning your timesheet in on the deadline. That's going to cost you, and I will smile at you and love you to death, but you're only going to get what you've earned. Not meeting a deadline is ridiculous. You rarely have tests or quizzes. You don't really have any crazy studying to do for this class. So simply being organized and turning your timesheet in is a really simple idea and a really simple task. If you go beyond 1 day late, at best you will only get half the points for that. Even if you've maxed out your points, that's all you're going to get. So pay attention to deadlines, because honestly, if this were a job, you'd get fired if you don't meet your deadlines. Think about it. You want to keep that corner office with the window. Everybody covets that. So basically, this is kind of what the time sheet looks like. Of course, you'll see a copy of it in the section of the room that has all our Math Center stuff in it. So I want to talk a little bit about this. You're going to keep this in your notebook. If you don't like this format, you're going to have to create your own, but it must have these components. There will be 16 blanks for you to fill out. If these blanks aren't big enough, take 2 at a time, add on, be creative, think outside the box, communicate. Communicate in a written format so that I can look at your timesheet and know exactly whether you've earned 1 to 2 to 5 points a day, however, or 0 points that day, or what did you do? Who were you with? What topic were you teaching, without being really detailed. So make sure you record the date. That goes in this box, and date means like August 25th, something like that. You put it in. The location. Location means what room you're in, what teacher you're with. And if you're with the same teacher every day, that's fine. Put their name here and then use little ditto marks as you go down. But occasionally your location will change and who you're with will change, because you may be tutoring out in the hallway a specific student for an hour. Heaven forbid, that's exhausting, but it might happen. Now, this part right here where you give a brief description. I don't mean just say, I took notes. What'd you take notes on? I teach math, so give me something here. You don't just write, I took notes, or I caught a kid up who was absent. Give me words, concept words. You know how to do this. They're notes. This is the main concept. Please don't write me an essay. I don't want that. It won't fit in these little boxes. But you could tell me that you were working on trigonometry, specifically sine, that particular day, or maybe you were working with circles and you were doing area and circumference, or give me those details. If you were working a station, what was the station on? Was it on linear, solving one-step linear equations, five-step linear equations? Was it on doing proofs? What was it? Now, time, when you do the time, this one's tough, and it's hard to sometimes judge that. 15 minutes, half an hour, entire class. You can write stuff like that, but if it's a 2-minute thing, don't list it. I'm not going to give you a point for a 2-minute activity. That has to be a part of something else. And I do want to impress upon you, when you switch topics in a classroom, like if a teacher shifts from taking notes into actually working problems or the assignment, and you shift, you can list that as a second activity for that day, because maybe it would be 20 minutes at the end of class where you're actually helping students with the assignment. That's very different from you sitting taking notes and assisting a student who's beside you in how to color code with a highlighter the important parts of the notes. All right, we all get sick once in a while, and this happens, but when you're sick, your due date for your timesheet does not change. You're expected to do makeup work. However creatively you come up with that, you've got to make yourself a viable tutor, get in some extra points, add in extra roars, pick up some after school. You could stay in after school and tutor a kid or whatever, however that works. But when you're sick, you don't just get excused from those points. There are always extenuating circumstances. That's taken on a one-by-one basis, so I'm not even addressing that now. Additional points every 10 school days cannot be carried over to the next timesheet, but you can keep a separate log that I will sign off and initial if you keep it organized separately from your Math Center timesheet. So once you've hit your 16 in a 10-day period, then you can start recording them under a community service log, and I'll sign off, and you can turn it in to Mr. Ryan or whomever, whatever organization it is, and they count for your community service hours. All right, let's summarize this very quickly. You got to get your teacher's contact information. You have mine. That's one thing. I'm like the Math Center facilitator. I'm the one who gives you the grade and handles the grade sheet and your attendance. But you need your email address and the classroom phone number and extension for the teacher you're assigned, and their cell number if they're comfortable with that. That way you can communicate when you're going to be out. Really important. Pay attention to what's in blue on the screen in front of you. Go get that first timesheet, get the copy of the calendars, mark these dates that you see here in front of you, and that's really important. And if you have questions, see me at the end of class about that.